What's up, Shift Yes Tribe? Our first month of the Shift Yes Tribe is complete. Our focus was saying yes, and this is an opportunity here to do some impromptu Q&A because I've got some feedback from a couple teams and people that had a couple really juicy questions centered around, if we're trying to build a culture of saying yes, how do we deal with the leader, the person, the team, the department who is not on board with that? How do we deal with the person who will not say yes, is not in that space of being flexible or open or looking for a way to make that happen? Just like, how do we navigate that together? And that is a very juicy and worthwhile question. It's very challenging. There is no easy answer to that. It's not like, well, if you just say this simple thing, then that's how to change that mindset or that behavior. There's no way around or over or under this topic. The only way to address it is like straightforward, directly through it. And I think the way to approach that conversation is to sit down and say, hey, this initiative, this idea of building ASN culture is very important for us. It's something that that we are trying to cultivate here. And this experience, giving examples of like, this is an example of when that doesn't feel like that. So the conversation is not to come in and give criticism and say, hey, you're not being flexible, you're saying no, you're not looking for a way to say yes, and that needs to change, but instead have more of a collaborative conversation and approach it to say, hey, this is important. How can I show up differently? When I bring up an idea to you, how can I present it in a way that puts you in more of a receptive, open, flexible space, like, right, to put you in a mindset of looking for a way to say yes to it, and also asking, what is your experience here? What is your perception of the situation? Because not what I say is not necessarily 100% what is true, but this is my experience that I'm having. A great resource for this, and I think every leader and human being on the planet should read Fierce Conversations by Susan Scott. It's a great book. It is a step-by-step guide of how to have difficult conversations. You know, and the concepts in that book are so helpful. It talks about the fact that nobody owns 100% of the truth, how to deliver the message without the load behind it, and just a way to process that conversation in an approach that is clear in terms of what's at stake and what's happening, but also collaborative and cooperative in terms of let's find a resolution for this together. That's important. So a great resource for that and a way to approach this conversation. This also dovetails really nicely into next month's topic, which is going to be productive conflict. So this is going to be something that we're going to dive into next month as well. I think it's always relevant with teams and human beings. Conflict is just a natural part of the experience of working together with other people. So good, there you go. Thank you. Please continue to share questions and have the conversation with us around other topics you want us to talk about. But there you go.